because we now know who all the prosecutors will be on Diddy's trial. They're all women. They have assembled a team of female prosecutors, and that is definitely not by accident.
How many people came through his orbit? How many people could this have happened to? And how did he get away with it for so long?
The recent disappearance raises unsettling questions. Was it merely coincidental? Or could it signify something far more menacing? Many are beginning to suspect a deeper undercurrent of fear, coercion, or even direct interference. The timing alone is too precise, too convenient, and it's led to concerns over the safety of others involved. Are they being silenced? And if so, what truths?
So Diddy, if you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
Might they have held back out of fear? The absence of victim 3 has already cast a long, dark shadow over the ongoing legal proceedings. Some believe it may weaken the case against Sean Diddy Combs, while others argue it only adds to the atmosphere of fear and control that seems to be tightening around this story. If someone wanted to keep the truth hidden, this is exactly how they might go about it. And those who have dared to speak out, what kind of power are they actually confronting? As the trial pushes forward, disturbing new information continues to surface. Take, for instance, the thousands of bottles of baby oil seized during federal searches of Diddy's properties. What seemed like props for his infamous parties may have served a more sinister purpose. Whistleblowers have suggested that substances might have been added to these oils, potentially rendering individuals impaired, unable to resist.
Incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent until proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent until proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent until proven guilty.
To recall what happened. Even more alarming are the claims of covert surveillance hidden recording. Devices allegedly planted throughout Diddy's residences. These weren't simply for show. Reports suggest they were integrated into everything from decorative objects to unsuspecting fixtures, recording hours of compromising footage during exclusive, often hedonistic events. The so-called freak-off gatherings are now being re-examined under a darker lens, not just as parties, but as potential sites of exploitation. If the rumors are true, and these tapes are now in the possession of federal investigators, the implications could be seismic. It's not just Diddy who stands to be implicated. These recordings could drag numerous high-profile figures into the spotlight. Celebrities, executives, even politicians. Anyone who attended these events might now be vulnerable, especially if they were unknowingly recorded during deeply private moments. Sources suggest that the FBI recovered a substantial cache of digital and physical media during the raids. Though the contents have not been made public, insiders hint that these archives go far beyond scandal. They may contain evidence of crimes
that with all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone.
Acts of coercion, manipulation, and abuse. For those filmed without consent, the idea that their most intimate moments could be weaponized is harrowing. For those complicit in the actions caught on tape, the career-ending consequences may already be in motion. Behind the scenes, a frantic effort appears to be underway. Some reports claim that prominent individuals are trying to secretly reacquire or suppress these recordings before they surface. Shadowy intermediaries, closed-door negotiations, and astronomical sums of money are allegedly in play, all in a desperate attempt to erase any trace of involvement. But if federal agents already hold these materials, it may be too late. No amount of wealth or influence can undo what's been...
Well, Sierra, anything's possible, right? But now this judge has an even harder time, I think, because the past judge locked him up, didn't let him out, and he's still there available for trial. If the new judge lets him out on bond and something goes wrong, and this isn't the analysis that I'm proud to make, right? We shouldn't be saying, well, judges are worried about their own skin and how they look if something bad happens.
Documented. Industry insiders say panic is spreading. Some celebrities are scrubbing their social media of any connection to Diddy, while others are retaining legal counsel in preparation for potential fallout. In parallel, there's been a wave of silence-inducing legal maneuvers. Those who worked at or attended these gatherings are reportedly being pushed to sign reinforced non-disclosure agreements designed not just to protect one man, but a broader circle of influential figures whose reputations could be shattered. If the truth is exposed, it's a clear illustration of how deeply control and fear can be woven into powerful institutions. This isn't simply about salacious headlines. If the contents of these alleged recordings reveal acts of exploitation or non-consensual behavior, they may finally provide the proof needed to hold powerful people accountable. For the victims, this could be a pivotal moment, an opportunity.
Every jail is bad, and some jails are worse than others. And the problem, again, is if you move him, why is he getting special treatment? And maybe he's earned special treatment. Maybe what he's done, maybe he's given so much back to his fans and to the world and to charity that maybe there's a way that it plays out in the end. But again, to go into court and say this jail is bad, move him to another jail, is not your first
Opportunity to reclaim their stories and challenge a system that has long enabled abuse through silence and intimidation. Still, uncertainty looms. Will the tapes ever be made public, or will they vanish into legal limbo as so many disturbing accounts in Hollywood's past have? The echoes of previous scandals are loud. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, men who used influence, money, and networks of enablers to hide their abuses until the walls finally crumbled. The comparisons are impossible to ignore. Like Epstein, Diddy's alleged control appears to have hinged on a dangerous blend of charisma.
The general population. And would he be at risk? Sure, he'd be at risk. There's so many people that have nothing to lose, right? They're going to be in jail the rest of their life. They've got nothing to, they want their 15 minutes of fame. They were friends with Diddy, or they hurt Diddy, or they Diddy, or they did. I mean, there's so many, people in jail that this would be their moment. You can't put them there.
And fear. Epstein used the promise of opportunity to lure and trap young women. Diddy is now accused of manipulating those within entertainment's inner circle in similar ways, offering glamour while concealing deeper threats. Both allegedly built empires not just through talent or business savvy, but through fear and leverage, especially the use of blackmail. The suspected existence of an archive of surveillance footage adds a grim dimension to this unfolding narrative. If real, and if tied to unlawful activity, it could upend not just one man's life, but shake an entire industry built on illusion and status. The questions that now remain are deeply unsettling. Who will have the courage to come forward? Who will face the consequences? And how far does this go? As more layers are peeled back, the scope of this alleged network becomes clearer and more disturbing. What started as one man's legal trouble may ultimately pull back the curtain on a much wider, much darker system of exploitation and control. The silence was shattered in a way few dared attempt. Lil Wayne's explosive allegations about Sean Diddy Combs have sent ripples far beyond the music industry, hinting at a sinister world hidden behind the dazzle of fame. According to Wayne, Diddy's success isn't simply a product of talent, business savvy, or even chancy. It's rooted in secrecy, manipulation, and domination. And the most disturbing part?
I think that even if we don't know our parents, we still have their DNA in us. We have their genes. And I have this hustler's mentality, his hustler spirit, his drive, his determination, his swag.
This isn't just another celebrity grudge match or rivalry gone public. Wayne insists that the tabloid scandals we've seen are merely surface-level distractions from a much darker reality. He claims to have peeled back the curtain on what he calls Diddy's dark empire, a sprawling, shadowy network where lavish gatherings allegedly masked coercive environments. These weren't just excessive celebrity parties, Wayne suggests, but environments of control, where guests were monitored with hidden cameras and kept isolated in what he describes as a luxury prison. The conviction in his voice is unmistakable as he describes aiding in the rescue of over 100 individuals from what he portrays as an opulent web of exploitation. Over 100 lives freed from what he likens to a gilded cage. The real question looms. What does this say about Diddy?
Finally spoken out amidst everything that is happening right now. Janice Small Combs provided a statement to some outlets via her attorney. So she starts off by saying it's very heartbreaking to see her son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies.
Is he a visionary mogul who lost his moral compassor? A calculating figure whose empire was always built on manipulation? Adding fuel to the fire, an old video has resurfaced, showing Lil Wayne issuing a cryptic warning to up-and-coming artists. Though he never directly names Diddy, the video's tone has taken on new gravity in light of recent events. What once seemed like a vague industry caution now feels like a prophecy, a veiled warning ignored until it was too late. In hindsight, the chill in his message is hard to dismiss. The glamorous gates of the industry may not lead to stardom. Wayne warns, they may lead somewhere far more dangerous. And then there's the rumor that refuses to die a bizarre, long whispered claim about Diddy's Miami mansion. Sources allege a maze of underground tunnels beneath the estate, reportedly referred to in hushed tones as the freak-off tunnels. According to whistleblowers, these tunnels weren't built for luxury or style, but secrecy and control. Allegedly, secretive gatherings took place in these subterranean corridors events, where power dynamics were rigidly enforced and silent.
He will be sued, and I say will be because nothing has been filed yet, by at least 120 people in the next 30 days.
Compulsory. Few speak of what went on down there, and even fewer dare to investigate. Wayne's allegations continue to escalate. He claims he's worked with insiders, people on the periphery of Diddy's inner circle, to dismantle this hidden system. His most stunning assertion remains that he played a role in freeing over 100 individuals from this dark network. If true, it suggests a hidden system of coercion operating behind closed doors, one that rivals any dystopian tale. This isn't just whistleblowing. It's a man claiming to have gone to war with a machine most would never dare to challenge. The larger implications are chilling. If Diddy's empire is truly this deep and dark, how many more victims are out there, too afraid to speak? How far-reaching is the web, and how many powerful names are tied to it? Recent federal investigations have only intensified the storm. Revelations from court documents point to something far worse than hedonistic excess. Prosecutors describe meticulously orchestrated events.
I thought Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do documentaries.
Participants were allegedly manipulated, courted without consent, and blackmailed into silence. One odd detail has particularly unnerved the public: the seizure of thousands of bottles of baby oil from Diddy's properties during federal raids. Theories abound, some absurd, some deeply unsettling. Comedian Cat Williams even referenced it during a recent set. You think you're getting a massage, but you can't even get up. His punchline, though biting, points to a more disturbing subtext, that these items may have been used in acts of coercion and control. Williams, for his part, has long distanced himself from Diddy's infamous events. He's been vocal about declining invites, claiming to possess proof of why he stayed away. Earlier this year, Williams ominously predicted that 2024 would mark a reckoning for the big name.
Today, just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
Many now wonder if Diddy was at the center of that warning. The charges Diddy faces: racketeering, trafficking, conspiracy, or grave, with possible life sentences on the table. Accusations of witness intimidation have also surfaced, suggesting Diddy's influence may still be at work even from within custody. The stakes are astronomical, and the unfolding courtroom saga has captivated the public like few others, adding another twist. A key witness, identified only as Victim 3, has vanished. Prosecutors admit they've lost contact not only with the witness, but with their attorney as well. Is this person silenced, or have they gone into hiding? Their absence casts an eerie shadow over the case. And then there's the alleged black
You're
book.
not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and
seized during the FBI's raid, a mysterious ledger, rumored to hold a vault of scandal, power plays, and connections that stretch beyond the music world. Insiders claim it contains names of celebrities, politicians, and executives linked to Diddy's activities. If it exists, and if it's decrypted, the revelations could shake the entire entertainment and political world. Imagine a single document, with the potential to dismantle not just a personal empire, but a hidden network of influence stretching across industries and decades. Rumors say the book is encrypted, its secrets locked behind layers of codes investigators are now attempting to crack. If they succeed, the fallout could be historic. But just as the trial was set to begin and attention was fixed on the courtroom, the disappearance of Victim 3 created yet another chilling mystery. Is this the unraveling of a cultural titan's legacy, or the beginning of a revelation that could expose an entire hidden elite? We may have only glimpsed the surface. What lies beneath could change everything. Certainly. Here's a rewritten version of your text with improved grammar, refined structure, and more unique language, all while preserving the tone, content, and investigative spirit of the original. There are troubling parallels between two.
A U.S. judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.
Profile figures Jeffrey Epstein and Sean Diddy? Combs, whose alleged empires of manipulation and control appear to rest on disturbingly similar tactics. Both have been rumored to possess troves of compromising photographs and videos, not just as trophies of excess, but as tools of silence. These recordings reportedly captured during Epstein's private gatherings and Diddy's infamous freak-off parties may have served a darker purpose: to ensure loyalty.
Real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the shoe have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
And enforce silence and keep networks of enablers and victims bound by fear. These aren't merely recordings of debauchery. They're potent symbols of the power wielded by men who operated above reproach for years. In Epstein's case, the material reportedly served as leverage, a mechanism to neutralize witnesses and dissuade betrayal. The whispers surrounding Diddy's alleged archive suggest a similar dynamic. If these rumored files are re-land as damaging as some claim, the fallout could extend well beyond the man himself, sending shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Epstein's arrest in 2019 triggered a chain reaction of revelations, implicating global elites from aristocrats to political titans. His now infamous Little Black Book came to represent an underground web of privilege, complicity, and predation. A similar black book is rumored to exist within Diddy's inner circle, one that could potentially expose the names and roles of powerful insiders who either look the other way.
Some people do think that Diddy can help him, but this guy's going to be locked up forever. His case will probably take at least 3 years to litigate. He'll stay at MDC. There's rumors that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. He's a Marshall's inmate. There's no way they're going to transfer him back and forth, I don't know, several times a week.
Implicit in his alleged misconduct. What's most chilling isn't just the possibility of abuse, but the scale of systemic silence that allowed it to flourish. Epstein's network relied heavily on a cadre of fixers' assistants, recruiters, and even close associates, many of whom allegedly played active roles in facilitating or concealing his crimes. The echoes in Diddy's situation are hard to ignore. From personal staff to high-profile collaborators, many may have seen red flags, yet chose silence, whether motivated by fear, loyalty, or personal gain. This raises a critical question. Will those enablers finally be held to account? Or will they once again escape scrutiny, hidden behind layers of plausible deniability? For survivors, the emotional toll of confronting such entrenched...
The questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come, within the next 2 years?
Power structures can be immense. Epstein's victims were often dismissed, their stories buried under years of doubt and disbelief. Diddy's alleged victims may face a similar uphill battle in an industry that has long prioritized reputation and profit over truth and justice. If the supposed recordings are genuine, they could become a turning point, but only if those in power are brave enough to confront the truths they reveal. The legal maneuvers in both cases are eerily similar. Epstein's 2008 plea deal notoriously let him off the hook for years, allowing his abuse to continue largely unchecked. Diddy's current legal battles have already sparked concerns about missing evidence, possible witness intimidation, and an opaque judicial process. These cases shine a harsh light on the immense difficulty of holding the powerful, all to account especially when they've spent years cultivating deep alliances across business, politics, and media. Despite Epstein's eventual downfall, many secrets died with him. His suspicious death in custody robbed many of closure and left gaping holes in the narrative. There's a very real danger that Diddy's case could follow a similar trajectory.
It's a question of that, but when you read through the indictment, it's pretty clear who could be indicted as a co-conspirator. Right now, there are people in the indictment who would be considered unnamed co-conspirators, but clearly have played a role in this conspiracy. And I think prosecutors have some big leverage on them because they're hoping that they testify against Diddy as prosecution witnesses.
A crescendo of headlines followed by silence and suppression. Cassie. Ventura's courage in publicly accusing Diddy of years of manipulation and abuse has opened the floodgates. Her account of coercion, surveillance, and the use of explicit recordings as blackmail paints a bleak picture of life within Diddy's orbit. Her bravery has inspired others to come forward, but it's also made the stakes clear, particularly as one key figure, referred to as Victim 3, has now gone missing. Her voice, if recovered, could prove pivotal in unraveling the full extent of the alleged abuses. Meanwhile, Diddy's business empire, once a symbol of untouchable successes, reportedly unraveling. Brand partners are backing away, and mounting legal costs hint at financial distress behind the scenes. It seems the mogul's golden image is finally beginning to tarnish. Under the weight of these serious allegations, but the deeper question isn't just about Diddy, it's about the culture that protected him. His rumored black book includes executives, producers,
Monday,
or even politicians.
Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily so, I guess, right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
The implications are staggering. The entertainment industry has long operated under a veil of secrecy, power dynamics, and unspoken rules. This could be the moment that veil is ripped away. Yet there's also a looming fear that, just like before, powerful interests will bury the truth to protect themselves. We've seen what happens when accountability is delayed or denied. Lil Wayne's past comments, once shrugged off as eccentric or baseless, now seem like early warnings of a much deeper rot. If even a portion of what's alleged is true, Diddy's collapse may be just the beginning. What rises from the wreckage could either mark a long overdue cleansing of an industry rife with silence and abuse, or signal another missed opportunity for systemic...
Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Reform. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is clear. The world is watching. In an era where information spreads rapidly and secrets are harder to keep, the old methods of hiding behind influence and money may no longer be enough. The next chapter depends on how far the truth is allowed to surface on, whether the courage of survivors and whistleblowers will finally break the cycle of protection and denial that has shielded predators for far too long. Would you like this? Version adapted for an article, video script, or social media post?